Hello everybody. Today I'm going to do a short demonstration of hospital management solution by Apagen Solutions. The hospital management solution encompasses a variety of applications which allows us to capture the journey of a patient right from the time he is interested to visit the hospital for an appointment to the time he leaves the premises after getting the treatment. Today I will briefly explain each of the business applications. For a detailed live demo, you can contact us. As we start the system, you can see a little dashboard for the administrator where we can see the details of the number of patients who are currently being served, total number of physicians or doctors, active appointments as on today, average wait time, number of treatments, invoices unpaid, total schedules for which approvals are required, and some information about birthdays of employee and patient which can be seen. The details of appointment can be seen in the dashboard as well. Now, the first application is patient's electronic medical record. Once a patient comes to the hospital, he is first required to be registered. In order to do the registration, you need to create a patient here and fill the information. As you can see in this example, we have a variety of information starting with name, gender, basic information, address, phone number, nationality, passport, a lot of which are non-mandatory. It can be made mandatory as per your request. Hospital information, in case we have multiple hospitals, a chain of hospitals, we will be able to choose the correct hospitals. And depending on your access, you may be given the access to a single hospital only. What kind of doctors they have been referring to or to be referred. Registration service is the product which requires us to create registration invoice. His initial clinical assessment. This clinical assessment can be entered during the time of registration or can be done at the time of the initial appointment. The disease he is going through. These diseases can be updated over a period of time during the patient journey or can be done earlier. Surgery history would be updated as the patient journey goes ahead. And family information, very important in case of serious treatments. This information becomes mandatory. Now, when I click on create invoice, this patient's registration invoice would be generated and he would be required to pay, which I will be showing it a bit later. In the print, I have the option to generate the patient's card and patient's barcode. This can be used to print on a physical card or a paper and can be associated with the patient or can also be stick to his patient file. The barcode is also generated and held while generating or moving the patient's information from one department to another. Now let's look at appointment. Once the patient's registration is booked, the patient's appointment would be recorded here. By default, the system will take today's time and date. I am required to choose the right department. Based on this, the system would suggest the right physician or available physicians. Again, a lot of information to be filled, and again, this completely depends on the hospital requirements, the type of doctor, and the type of requirements before the doctor comes in. First is the general information about diseases, complaints, present illness. A clinical assessment form is available here. This clinical assessment can be done at the nurse station. I can enter my weight details, height, temperature, blood pressure, oxygen level, BMI, and so on. This information is updated here, as you can see. Vital signs and symptoms. Vital signs and symptoms are available for all the departments and all parts of the body: head and neck, ENT, eye, chest and heart, surgery, urinary and gynecology, orthopedic and neuro, mouth, skin, and so on. Now, all this information right now is non mandatory. If depending on department, either you can make it mandatory or you can fill this information depending on the department. Physical examination again involves a lot of parameters, mostly visible from outside, be it head, neck, eyes, nose, skin, ears, mouth, legs, and so on. Okay, a lot of information is available here. Now, once the patient comes into picture, once this appointment, the first point is to actually pay for this, which requires an invoice to be created. Once this invoice is created, it is automatically created in the billing department. Either it would be paid at the same time or either it could be paid later depending on the hospital's procedure. Now, once the patient's appointment is confirmed, he reaches the appointment section or the waiting section. And if it is not available instantly, you will put him in the waiting. This job will be done by the reception. And once the patient goes in, it will be marked as an in consultation. Now, at this point of time, the doctor kicks in and he looks at the appointment. He sees the information, and then, depending on the diagnosis, he will be entering the details of the advice, diagnosis, and the notes. The disease history can also be updated by the doctor. And essentially, in case any items are consumed during this appointment section, then those will be entered. This could be injection, this could be a basic medical kit, and all those things will be added, which can be added to the final invoice also. And the other information requires us to enter the details of treatment, physician, insurance details, and so on. Now, ideally, after the appointment, the doctor is likely to prescribe something. He can also suggest for a lab request. So those two options are available here. So if I have to create a prescription, I click on create prescription. So prescription is a separate process itself, which is directly created with associated with appointment. The system will copy all the information, and I'm here now required to select the medication. So I'm choosing some medication to be prescribed. This medication details are available as a master in the system, which allows us to capture its details, active components, substitution, frequency, and so on. These are predefined and, of course, can be modified by the doctor. Once I confirm this prescription is ready, this prescription can be instantly printed, can be printed by the nursing station or the reception. And finally, the invoice can also be created for this prescription, or if you need to create or you want these medicines to be delivered. I come back to my appointment, and now I'm going to create a lab request. When I create a lab request, again all information are copied. There could be multiple collection centers, that there could be two types of test: pathology and radiology. Let's look at pathology. I will just recommend the test. There will be predefined list of tests. which will have a predefined list of prices. I submit this request. Again, this could be prepaid, not the job of the doctor, goes to the billing station. So ultimately, this request is going to the pathology lab. Okay, who once it's accepted, this test becomes active. So it is possible that you may prescribe a lab test, but the patient may not actually take it. Okay, or he may do it from outside. Again, come back to the appointment, and I again create a lab request. This time I do it for a radiology. Again, accept. I've also created an invoice for this. So from this appointment, I have one invoice directly associated, two lab requests, which I can click here and see the details. And essentially, once this appointment is done, I can mark it as consultation to be closed. So my job as a doctor has been done here. Now, independently, this prescription will go to the pharmacy, and lab request will be handled separately. I can print my medical advice and appointment right from here. Simple template is available. Of course, this can be further modified as per your requirement. Okay. Appointment details can also be printed. However, these days these are available through SMS, WhatsApp, or email as well. Okay. Let's look at prescription now. So this prescription is available to the pharmacy. It can be printed again. Let's look at prescription details. Let's create an invoice. So prescription line is there. It has to be paid ultimately. So I'm not opening the invoice section. We'll look at it together. Okay, invoice has been created. The pricing which is defined in the product will automatically create the details. Okay. Now we have also associated here stock moves with the invoices. That means at the time of creation of invoice, the system will automatically consume the inventory as well. It is mentioning that I have some information missing from the customer. This is the requirement of a compliance of the system. So I'll just quickly enter it. Okay, the payment procedures are ahead, which is part of the accounting system. Let's look at the lab requests. So as soon as I start working on it, I can mark it as in progress. I can print the lab prescription as well. The test results will be inputted from here. Test type details are there. Appointment, diagnosis, extra note, and of course, imaging details would be added as an attachment. Once done, I can click on done and send it by email as well. And if I need to attach my document, I can do it from here. I go back to the request. I can see the test results are updated here. I will mark it as done and the request is completed. Test results can be seen separately. If I look at the pathology, I'll mark it as in progress. So it says lab samples has not been collected yet, so test samples have to be collected. I need to enter what is the sample type. You will choose the sample type depending on the type of test. Sample container code, all these things can be auto generated or can be manual. Option to print the lab sample also. Test is now in progress. Then we'll mention the test results. So there are two types of tests, so test results separate for both of them. Here, depending on the type of test, you will have the different normal range which will come automatically, and then you are required to enter the result and its type. Okay, for the demonstration purpose, we have kept it non-mandatory, but of course you will be required to enter that, for you can't move ahead. RBC count, similar job to be done. So again, now these two requests are complete, and of course these results can be printed. Okay, beyond laboratory pathology, radiology, uh, prescription appointments, pharmacy section we have seen briefly. The hospital also allows us to take in hospitalization into account. Okay, so hospitalization can be triggered again from the appointment, but ideally once the hospitalization has to start, it needs to start from here. Again, you will have to follow a lot of information: patients details, relatives number, cash insurance details, ward and bedroom. These are all masters are created in the system. What kind of admission type is there, hospital, different types of checklists are there, whether they are completed or not. These will be mandatory. Clinical assessment of all the details, very similar to before, and legal details, whether it is related with police or not. Once I move ahead for hospitalization, This particular bed and everything will be reserved for me for the respective date. And once I click on hospitalization, the actual hospitalization will be active. Now, once the hospitalization is active, I can have requests for pathology. That means I can directly create lab related requests for pathology and radiology separate. Since we have already seen that, I will not do that right now. We have option for inpatient medicine request, which can be raised from here. It is very similar to prescription, but essentially raised from hospitalization. Okay, and of course you can directly create invoice and associate with accounting. Now, as the hospitalization kicks in, additional information comes into picture in terms of what is the care plan. So there will be one primary nurse associated with it. Care plan template can be linked with it, which will give the details of how the nursing would take place, the details of nurse ward rounds, consumed items and services during the hospitalization process. Discharge related details will come later. You have other options available in terms of OT if operation theater has to be booked. Surgery details. If I need to add a surgery detail, I can click here. So this surgery is the same surgery details which are comes up in the patient form also. So surgery details are coming here. So every time I am doing surgery, I will update this information. So this will have its own independent record. It will have its own prescription. It has its own medication, pre-operative checklist, post-operative orders, discharge related summary, and so on. I am filling the details briefly for the demonstration purpose. In ideal scenario, we'll fill all the details here. Again, you will be able to mark and create invoice separately from here. So surgery details have also been entered here. OT bookings. You need to enter the surgery related details. OT booking is complete. These are internal procedures, small procedures, which can of course can be upgraded as per the requirement. Now, once all these procedures are complete, you will be able to create your visiting pass and hospitalization card. For the visitors hospitalization card to be associated and linked with your file and can also be printed on your file or near your bed. Finally, once everything is complete, you will be discharge will be done. Before discharge, you will be required to enter all these details, and the system would be able to create the invoice. Okay. Once all these invoices are created, please note that the operation theater booking, surgery details, pathology, radiology, medicine related requests are independent. And also during hospitalization, your actual bill comes related to your bed and everything. If there is an advance payment, that is part of the accounting system. There are some other information that can be captured in the system. One is information associated with vaccination. So vaccination and vaccination history, which is given to patients independent of hospitalization, can be captured here. Physician, lot number, dose number, and everything. You can schedule it, you can create its invoice, and of course, if required, can be printed as well. Vaccination history details will be captured in a master separately. We have nursing related information. As nurse, you will be going through different physiotherapy procedures. Some of the examples can be seen here, like a physiotherapy procedure. So in case that is created by the patient, sorry, doctor, all those procedures needs to be created, and these details and history will be captured in the system. Ward rounds for each and every hospitalization will be captured here, where you will be capturing a lot of vital related information. And in case you need specific information, we can add that as well. Surgery related details can be seen independently. Ambulance. So if ambulance requirement is there, then you will be able to book ambulance. Ambulance patient related information. We have masters of the actual vehicle, or start odometer, stop odometer, and then of course you will be able to create invoice and also bill it to the patient also. Certificates, it could be birth certificate, death certificates, predefined templates are available, and based on that you will be able to print these certificates, fitness certificate and so on. So there are a lot of templates which are available for different types of certificate. Beyond this, we have all the facilities associated with the hospital which are required to support them, like procurement, inventory, accounting. These are localized requirements based on your country, and all those details would be added or would be part of the system. Okay. All these services, medicines are created as masters along with their pricing. These pricing, if flexible, then we can create a price list also depending on patient levels. The waiting screen, which is available during appointment section, is created here, and this can also be made available on a particular TV or something, which can be useful for patients. This real-time updates are in every 1 minute, and every new appointment will be visible based on the timing. Here from HMS section, I will be able to see a lot of information together as an administrator, patient details, physician related masters. So here I can update my doctors. I can see doctor related information. If they are given commission, then commission details would appear. Hospitalization, treatments being done, patient procedures, appointments, prescriptions, business commission related work timings, I will be able to schedule from here. Okay. So that's all for this brief demo. In case further demonstration is required or you have more queries, feel free to contact us. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel videos and you will be getting a lot. And yes, don't forget to comment upon these videos, because if you comment on these videos, this will really going to give us the motivation to upload more and more videos. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.